down the field. Happy tossing dimes, cup $1 million deal. Fantasy football, better know it's real. Tune into the podcast, tell us how you feel. We be going live, best believe we talk.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to our Week 4 preview show. Clayton here, and joining me is my wonderful co-host, Abby.
Here I am.
How's
Ready to
the
talk
week been?
football.
How's the week been? Good.
It's well, I went 1-3 in 1-3 in fantasy, so it wasn't great for me. You?
It was good. I finally got a win in one league that we're in.
Nice.
Beat Brad by I don't even think it was like.
Yeah,
over
I
2
saw
points.
that, like 2 points or something.
Yeah.
That was
I did
good.
lose it. I did lose one league. I won one league by 0.5, and I lost the league by 0.02 points.
Oh, jeez.
Oh yeah, wild. So, but it is what it is. That's fantasy football for you, right?
Yeah, it is.
So, and my rankings this week, absolutely shit. Terrible.
Oh, really?
Oh, brutal.
I'm surprised you brought it up. I am.
Hey, I'm the first to admit when I don't think I hit when I was doing getting everything together on Sunday. I don't think I hit publish. So I had all these inactive guys in there and everything like that. Yeah, it was brutal. I won't even tell you where I finished. You can search really far down the list and you might find me. I made an executive decision. We started to figure out what our starts and sits episode was going to be called last week.
Yes.
So we agreed on the whole, because of maple syrup, so maple startup. That's kind of cool. That kind of flows with it. I made the executive decision. Abby, you're not going to like this.
No, I already know what you're going to say.
We have to go.
It makes absolutely no sense.
It doesn't. But listen,
at all.
Everybody
out there, what is your number one condiment? Everybody out there, let us know what your number one condiment is. What is never on the bench? What condiment is never on the bench?
It's never saying that it's crap. It's ketchup sits, because I think that's hilarious. Because listen,
I wanted to go with Sub-Zero sits, people. Like, how much better is that?
Okay, fine. We'll go to a vote.
Ketchup is the number one condiment in everybody's rankings.
Okay,
it's never on the bench. You're benching Patrick Mahomes right now.
Okay,
and you're just
fine.
playing.
Here's what we're going to do, Javi. Just so you will shut up and stop talking about it. We'll have a vote. I'll put the vote on Twitter.
Okay.
Ketchup sits or
Sub-Zero
sits.
It doesn't even sound good coming out of my mouth. Ketchup sits.
Oh, no. That sounds hilarious.
Ketchup never.
What is Canada known for? Ketchup chips. Ketchup sit. I like that. I think don't worry.
Also known for being Sub-Zero for half the year.
Yes, it's true. We'll let the world decide, Abby.
All right.
Jeez, man, it's so hard to.
What's your favorite condiment? What is the one that you're
ketchup?
Yeah. Oh, there we go. So
I'm not saying it's bad. Anyways, enough of this
For
nonsense. I knew exactly what was going to happen, and I'm done. I'm done talking about it. So you know what? Let's just jump in. Let's jump into this.
Gonna get 99% of the votes, buddy.
Ketchup sits is dynamite. Anyways, you know what? Enough of this nonsense. Dolphins at Bengals, a Thursday night game. Who you got for this Dolphins team, Abby?
Dolphins. I'm at Bengals.
No, you're not. You
the
do
road
this
teams.
all. No, you do this all the time. Yes,
the visitors.
Okay, I'm looking at the show notes right now, and it's in bold. Abby takes the visiting teams.
Oh yeah, Miami, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I thought I don't know what happened. I'm still reeling over this ketchup sits. It's just that's all that's in my head right now.
Talk to me about the Dolphins.
Well, I mean, Miami's the real deal. They're 3-0. I think they are definitely a Super Bowl contender with their especially with their offense. They're scoring tons of points, and in a game against Cincinnati, and who can also score some points. And their defense has not been that great this year so far. I think that there's not a guy in this squad that you could sit, really. I mean, even I wouldn't fire up Mostert, I don't think yet, but because Chase Edmonds is the guy getting the touchdowns. And, I guess in a standard league, you could fire up Mostert, but I would still keep him on my bench in PPR.
Yeah, I personally don't think that they're going to be able to get any. I mean, I said this last week and it backfired too. Yeah, obviously you're going to play Chase Edmonds because yes, he did
Yeah.
have the rushing touchdowns last week. Not like you said, not really comfortable with Mostert, but I don't think this Dolphins team is going to be able to really do much on the ground against Cincinnati because number one, I agree with you. Miami looks great. You know, the passing game's on fire, everything's going good. Problem being is the fact they can't get a running game going. That's where I do think that the Bengals are going to be able to. I'm picking the Bengals in this game only because of the fact that I think Burrow could keep up with Tua in the passing game, but I also think the fact that they're going to be able to use Mixon plus mixing a little bit of Samaje Perine in there as well. I think they're going to be able to burn them on the ground as well. Therefore, I'm going to take the Bengals at home. And the sneaky start for me this week is going to be I'm going to continue to roll with Tyler Boyd. He was dynamite last week, over 100 yards receiving, and another touchdown last week. He's playing that role perfectly. You know, with Jamar Chase, you got Higgins that isn't 100% yet, but I mean, you still got to account for him when he's on the field. I think Tyler Boyd's going to have another big game, and he does have quite a bit of success against Miami.
The one thing I could see happening is that the teams have got to stop Miami's passing game. They're 3-0 and they're going to just keep on firing unless they pay more attention to the passing game, which could open things up a little bit for the running backs.
Yeah, I personally think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. I think everybody's going to eat in this game, except the fact that I just do think that the running game for Cincinnati is just a little bit better.
Well, then that means that Miami's just going to torch them through the air.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see, buddy. All right. So who you're taking? Miami, obviously.
In this one, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I highly disagree.
Close game,
all right.
though.
Well, let's go to our early Saturday morning or Sunday morning game in London.
Tua popped up questionable, so that's something to keep your eye on as well.
Yeah. We'll touch on the injuries on Sunday-ish, but yeah, just keep an eye on all these injuries for guys because I think Tua is going to play anyways. This is a big game for them. So, all right, then our game in overseas. Tottenham Stadium in London, we got the Vikings at the Saints. Javi, Vikings are going to roll in this one or what?
I think that Jefferson is going to have a breakout game. He's on the radar. I see all these articles popping up about is he going to be a bust this year? Like all this stuff. But I think they're going to go to him a lot. Cook is banged up, so they could their running backs they'll only have Madison, possibly. I mean, I don't think Cook's practiced yet so far, so that's something to keep an eye on. If he does sit, you got to fire up Madison because he's the lone guy back there, and when he's stepped in for Cook, he has been pretty good. But Thielen and Jefferson are stud-ups, and even their tight end Irv Smith.
Yeah, I agree with that. Basically, it's going to be the biggest thing I'm watching in this game is what's going to happen with Cook. There is word that he is going to play. They're shocked that he wasn't already playing with the harness because of his injuries. Past injury history, but they think that he could get away with just wearing a harness and everything should be fine. He's obviously not going to be at 100%, so I think you're going to get a little bit of a mixture of Madison in there.
Yeah,
but on the Saints side of the ball popped up today, Jameis Winston was not practicing, so that's going to be something to keep an eye on. Andy Dalton was running with the ones, mixture of Taysom Hill in there as well, so that's going to make a little bit of a difference in this one as well. But as far as this game goes, a guy that I'm going to be my Maple startup Javi, as they call it.
Yeah.
I'm still going to roll with rookie Chris Olave. Only the simple reason being the ball's got to go to somebody. Michael Thomas banged up. Jarvis Landry banged up. Yeah. That leaves pretty much Alvin Kamara. Olave had 9 catches for over 100 yards last week. Big breakout game for him. Actually, it was almost 150 yards. And that was the most receptions and reception yards by a rookie in a single game since in 2022. So that was a huge breakout game for him. So I'm going to keep rolling with him. because obviously volume's key in fantasy, and he's going to be the guy. As far as running games go, my ketchup sit. How's that, buddy? You love it. That's the only time.
Yeah,
That's the only time I'll
ketchup.
say it. I had to do it.
So this guy better be really good because I really like ketchup.
I do think that Alvin Kamara is going to dominate this run game. I'm not firing up. I mean, if you were for some reason putting him Mark Ingram, and the other person I'm sneaky start's going to be is Juwan Johnson for me, I think, in that receiving game.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I'm writing that down. I'm starting him in FanDuel.
Why? Don't start him.
He's probably cheap.
He's very, very, very cheap, actually. So only reason being is the fact that, like I said, the volume's key, and he's been producing not a whole ton week to week, but he's been producing a little bit. I mean, and that tight end position is disgusting. So
it is.
So next game, we're going to go to Chargers at the Texans. Banged up Chargers, missing Joey Bosa on IR. What's his defense going to look like?
I don't care about the defense.
Yeah,
the
offense. I was trying to throw you off a little bit, buddy.
Well, with Herbert banged up, we saw last week that he's not putting up the skyrocket numbers that he usually does. But he'll probably get Keenan Allen back this week, and I think you still have to fire up Allen and Williams. And Everett's been consistent week to week. I mean, he's a good startup too for the tight end position because, like you said, it's kind of a crapshoot right now with the tight ends, and then Eckler at the backs. I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, you seem to like Palmer, but Carter.
No, I like Palmer.
Palmer, yeah,
yeah.
But I don't think I would start up Palmer in this one.
Well, if Keenan Allen doesn't play,
I don't think they're going to have to do much to beat. I mean, it's in Houston. Houston's been scoring some points, so
they've been good, man.
I just don't think Herbert's healthy enough to. I don't think he's healthy enough to accommodate 3 receivers in this game.
No, I agree with you, but I can see, number one, I can see Mike Williams scoring multiple times on deep balls in this one. Houston's defense isn't great. That's why I don't think if they can sit Allen another game, I think they're going to. Because I mean, as far as scoring goes for Houston, I don't think, like you said, they have been putting up points, but it's not going to be enough to even come anywhere near this game. I do think that that if Keenan Allen sits, I think Josh Palmer, is going to be a good play, but that's just a kind of wait and see approach. But if you want to be safe, assuming Allen is going to play, I think, Josh Palmer, you can sit down for a while and just see how that plays out. As on the Texans side of the ball, guy that I'm going to roll with this week is going to be because I was also going to mention the Texans defense is not great. So even with the fact that Herbert's not 100%, I still don't think they're going to need to do much in this one, to be honest.
They might not air it out as much just to preserve him, right? Like,
what are you doing with, there's been questions. Yeah, I mean, you got Austin Eckler. I mean, he had 8 catches last week, but really, I mean, he's been kind of quiet. And now we're starting to see a lot more Sony Michel. Are you keeping an eye on that situation?
I think so, but they're still involving him heavily in the game, and he's getting the touches, and he's like, we knew Eckler when you drafted him that you're drafting him because he gets all those catches, right? Especially in PPR. And I think he's going to continue to get those looks for sure every game.
Fair enough. All right, guy that I'm starting for the Texans side of the ball is going to be Dameon Pierce. I know, people are going to say, "Oh, game script." You know what? Pierce is the only good thing rolling for us right now. He did pop up on the injury report today, so just keep an eye on that. But I think he's going to be fine. I think it's just the rookie having a huge game last week, kind of a rest day. So I just think he's the best thing going for this Texans offense right now. The guy that I'm not too keen on starting, even if the fact that game script is going to give him volume, it's going to be my man Brandon Cooks. I just think that this Chargers secondary is just going to take him right out of the game. He's been quite quiet so far this year, so I'm not really counting on too much happening from him. outside of I guess PPR, I think maybe he will catch his grabs. I just don't think it's going to be the yardage, or I don't think he'll score a touchdown in this one.
Yeah, I like the Pierce fire up. Two running Robinson and Clyde have both got over 100 on them in the past 2 weeks. So I think they're going to try and use that against the Chargers defense as their running backs.
Yeah, I agree with you. Bears at Giants. I mean, if we would have talked last year or last week, last year would have been like, this is going to be a terrible game. But I think the Giants are rolling right now.
The Giants?
The Giants are rolling right now.
They just lost.
Who cares? They've been way better than what anybody's predicted.
Where are they rolling to?
Their offense is on fire right now.
They just lost to the Cowboys. The Cowboys.
Everybody's lost to the Cowboys. The last three games, Cowboys are 3-0. Who would ever have thought they'd be 3-0? Nobody. Cowboys?
They 2-1?
No, they're 3-0.
When Dak was in there, they lost, I'm pretty sure. Didn't they?
No, they won. They're 3-0.
I don't know.
I'm telling you, they're 3-0. Look it up.
I'm gonna right now.
Do it.
Okay.
But I'll talk about the Giants right now. Got to fire up Saquon Barkley. Obviously, he's been.
Cowboys are 2-1, buddy.
No,
Look it up. Look it up.
Are they really?
They lost week 1 when Dak was in there, and then they won with Cooper twice.
Sorry. Oh, I blew it. My bad. Sorry. Who was I thinking was 3-0 then?
Well, the Giants were almost 3-0 because
I don't know.
Then they got beat by the Cowboys.
I don't know what I was thinking.
I don't know either.
Fine, Happy, you win. Anyways,
you're making me
I'm making you search
myself.
For things.
You're making me question myself, my own sanity.
I think this game won't be a super high scoring affair. I don't think. Probably, there's going to be touchdown score, but I think it's going to be, I think Barkley's going to be able to get in. But I mean, we're not here. You're going to be starting Barkley every week. The one guy, curious, I'm going to start now. What with Sterling Shepard out for the year? Do you think they're going to try to get Kenny Golladay involved? I do not. I personally think that. I think. Go ahead.
I like James as a startup this week with Sterling Shepard out.
I was just going to say that he's been good. I mean, even his time with the 49ers, he had spurts of being great, and he's been quite successful this year as such, even with Sterling Shepard out there. He's got 4+ catches in every game that he's played so far, and he's basically walking into the wide receiver 1 position on this team.
Yeah.
So I do. Totally. I definitely. I just want to talk about Richie James for sure. So
I scooped him off the waiver wire in Dynasty for this week.
Nicely done. Oh yeah, those went through already, man. I'm too busy. See, I'm too busy. I keep forgetting about all that.
You got to get the alerts to your email. at 8 o'clock, it just hits my phone like ding 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 from everybody making their move.
I can't stand that. It drives me fucking nuts. That's why I deleted. I don't care about if any trades or anything. It's just, but maybe that's why my team's pretty good in that. So, what about on the Chicago side of the ball? What the hell are you doing here?
Well, I don't know. Montgomery's down, and Hilliard I think he's literally the only guy I'd start on right now on this offense. I mean, you're probably gonna have to start Fields, but St. Brown they're looking like their top guy in the wideouts department. Mooney's still not doing much. And same with Cole Kmet, another guy that was drafted high who seems to be nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, I've dropped Darnell Mooney in a lot of places that I have had him until I see something. Like they just don't throw the ball enough. I think they've been. I
think they're going to try and get the ball in Herbert's hands or Fields' hands as much as possible. This is
exactly what I was going to say. They're 2-1 for a reason, and what's that reason been? They have been running the ball. They've been running the ball a ton. Yeah. They haven't needed to pass. So why change something when one of these teams is going to be 3-1 by the end? And I think Herbert's going to have another huge game if he's a starter. But even if Montgomery does play, he's not 100%. I'm still putting Herbert in. And if Montgomery's in, I'm flexing Herbert. But I have a feeling it's going to be the Herbert show after exactly what he did last week. So I'd be putting him in anywhere I have him. I'd be starting him. Seahawks at the Lions.
Number one waiver wire ad.
Talk to me about it. Who?
Jamal.
Yeah.
Swift down in heat.
Why don't you talk about your own team?
Oh, yeah, okay. You told me to talk about him though, and then you just told me we can talk about him. Jesus. I was saying number one waiver. I was gonna say number one waiver for you for your show, right?
It was, yes, it was
the show, and then you just cut me off, told me to talk about him, so I started talking about him.
You keep talking about I think this doesn't go well anyways, our format, because we still end up talking about each team anyways. So hey, Javi, tell me about the Lions, buddy.
Right. All right. Let's Jamal Williams. He's gonna be a startup, number one waiver wire ad this week. And I think he's a fire up. Amani St. Brown again and Hawkinson. And I read that Reynolds may be injured, but he's been consistent week to week, and he is a sneaky start this week.
Yeah, I was saying Brown being banged up. I think you're starting Reynolds this week, to be honest with you. I love his production, what he's done. 6 catches, 96 yards last week. That's going to continue. This Detroit team likes to throw all of a sudden. Yeah. Jared Goff's turning into a very, very consistent, efficient quarterback. And I just think that the Seahawks team is just trash, to be honest with you. I think this is going to be another Tyler Lockett game. I mean, you're not benching Metcalf, but I'm not predicting too much out of him. It looks like Tyler Lockett's basically locked in with Geno. 9 catches last week for 76 yards. I mean, and he's got 9 catches and 9+ catches in back-to-back games. So you're going to want to. I think that continues on. So I think he'll same production as last week, probably get in the end zone once. And as far as this run game goes, I think we're going to see a lot more Kenneth Walker. I think we're going to see kind of a little bit of a slight little breakout game for him. I mean, Penny has been okay. But I do think that with Travis Homer being put on IR, I think they're going to start to unleash Kenneth Walker a little bit.
Good. And same with as Goff, Geno Smith has been a serviceable fantasy quarterback thus far. Over 100-point QB rating.
Which is impressive.
Yep.
So Jaguars at the Eagles. This is going to be, I was just about to say that. I'm actually very excited to watch this game. And who would have thunk that this Jaguars team is like legit?
I know, it's crazy. And a year ago we were talking about how much of a mess this team was.
Yeah.
And now we got Peterson in a revenge game going into Philly. He could. I mean, with the Philly fans, they're crazy, so he could not leave that building if they win. If Jacksonville wins, they may start throwing things at Peterson.
That is very true. On the Eagles side, I'm going to be firing up this whole offense with Jalen Hurts just doing what he does. Threw for another 300+ yards last week, 3 touchdowns. Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown, both very serviceable. Obviously, A.J. Brown is, but Devonta Smith, he just set career highs with his production last week. So, I mean, 8 catches for almost 170 yards and basically first touchdown of the year. So, I do think that I think they're going to have to throw in this one. They're going to rely on the run game, obviously, by Hurts as well. But Hurts is just a quarterback that does it all now. And I think they got it going, and their defense is unbelievable. So, all around, I think this Philly team is awesome.
Very good.
You can fire everybody up with especially Devonta Smith in this one.
Same thing on the old, pretty much on the old Jacksonville side. And I'm calling it this week, Etienne getting a touchdown.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah. And I would also start as a flex. And if he's probably got scooped on the waiver wire this week, was Z Jones. I would fire him up too in this game.
Yeah,
because they're gonna need to score some points in this game.
Yeah, he's been awesome. He had 10 catches last week. This offense, it's crazy to me how good this offense is, with Christian Kirk the number one, Zay Jones easily is the number two, and he's basically, if they're going to be throwing the ball 30 plus times, 30, 40 times, Zay Jones is getting double-digit targets easily.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're definitely flexing Zay Jones, starting Christian Kirk. Travis Etienne, career-high 75 scrimmage yards last week, but I love J-Rob. I love J-Rob. I love J-Rob in this one.
Well, I mean, we'll see. I do think that J-Rob will get used more, but last game Etienne got a lot of work because they were pumping Chargers eyes shut.
Yeah, that doesn't. I still think
if they're up big, they'll both their running backs will get a lot of work. But I mean, in a game like this where it could be a air assault on both sides, I think that favors Robinson's game a little bit more.
You mean Etienne?
Sorry, Etienne. Yeah,
Etienne. Yeah, we'll see.
That's why I think he's going to get in the touch in the end zone this game.
Be good. It'd be good for all those people that stuck with him for sure.
I still wouldn't start him though, not till he shows.
Who do you have taking this game?
I think it's Philly. I think Philly at home, they're just too powerful for Jacksonville.
I agree, but I do think it's going to be a very close game.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a field goal is going to determine this game. All right, Jets at Steelers. Word is Zach Wilson is back.
Yeah.
And then we got shitty Trubisky. I'm calling it right now. I'm going to talk about Pittsburgh real quick here. I do think that we're going to see maybe a half of football by Trubisky. And after half, the Kenny Pickett regime is about to start in Pittsburgh.
I agree. I don't like Trubisky.
This team cannot move the ball with Trubisky. I mean, only 20 completions last week, just over 60% passing completion, over 200 yards. Had a rushing touchdown, but they can't move this ball. They got the weapons. They got Deontay Johnson. Claypool hasn't really done too much. They just can't get the ball downfield enough.
Yeah. So they were given ample opportunities last week to do it, and they just could not.
Tons of time. I mean, the thing is, though, unless they can get that ball downfield, none of these guys are going to be relevant. I mean, you're looking at Deontay Johnson because of the fact he gets all the volume, right? 8 catches last week, over 80 yards. So last time these two teams played, it was the same kind of stat line. He had 8 receptions, 80 plus yards and a touchdown. So I do think that Deontay Johnson, you're firing him up because obviously you are.
He's going to get the targets.
He's just too good. But another sneaky guy that I'm actually really curious to see what's going to happen with is our boy Pickens. I want to see more of him, man. That catch last week was just something else.
It was insane.
Yeah. So what about on the Jets side?
Well, I mean, if Flacco was still playing, I mean, I would have a little more intel, but with Wilson coming in, it's tough to tell who he's going to be favoring. The one thing that I liked was that Breece Hall is starting to slowly take over this backfield. He outtouched Carter last week. Only had 39 yards on the ground, but he had those 6 targets. And I think that he's going to still be relied heavily in the passing game, even with Wilson in there. So he could be a guy that you finally start up this week. As far as their passing game, like I said, with Wilson coming back, it's tough to really see. But G. Wilson, he's been good. I think Davis would be the smart because he has played with Wilson before. And G. Wilson, I still say we wait and see on how him and Z. Wilson will be together.
I disagree. I think G. Wilson is the number one in this offense, and I think the last names are going to connect very, very nicely in this one. The Steelers are giving up quite a bit of yards. I do think that they're going to have a good connection right off the bat. And I do think that Tyler Conklin is another guy who's, big part of this offense. I think the Jets rely on the tight end position. I mean, they went out and got 2 of them in Tyler Conklin and CJ Uzoma.
Flacco loves his tight ends.
Yeah, but
Wilson
so does Zach
not.
Wilson. Okay, we'll see.
No, he doesn't.
I bet you
Like I
that
said, I'm not going to start any jet wide receiver right now. Not a single one.
I'm going. I'll start right now. Tyler Conklin. I'll start Garrett Wilson, and
Tyler Conklin because tight ends suck.
no,
I wouldn't start Wilson.
You're not. You don't.
One more week.
One more week. One more. No.
One more week. He's sitting on my bench right now.
What does the guy need to do?
He's sitting on my bench right now.
He leads all rookies with 18 catches. Why are you telling me that Flacco's? Are you telling me Joe Flacco's making him a superstar? Come on now, man. Come on.
Well, I haven't seen much from Wilson that makes me think that he's any better than Flacco.
I'm hoping I'm playing you this week. In
Wilson
anything,
not showed me anything that tells me that he's better than Flacco right now.
I disagree.
Now.
All right, we'll see. You wait a week. I'll take my winnings when I start him in all my leagues that I have him.
That down.
Write it down right now, Javi.
Play.
Matt, there's
Wilson best receiver in the league. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what I
got it down.
All right. Okay. Browns at Falcons. Another. I don't know what's your take on this game. I don't know what I want to do with this game.
It's gonna be a barn burner. No, look out for another snooze fest. I think. I'm going Browns. You going first? I'm going Browns. Browns and Falcons.
Yeah, you go ahead. You talk about the Browns.
All right. Well, I mean, they're coming off their big win last week in their other snooze fest against Trubisky, but I think Nick Chubb is probably the only, and Amari Cooper, the two startups. And I like that Njoku had a big week last week, and he's another fire up on this offense. But those three are probably the only fire ups to me. I think where do you got Kareem Hunt ranked this week?
I think I just have him outside my top 24. I'm firing him up though. This run game
almost have to.
Yeah.
Against Atlanta, I think they're gonna be highlighting their running backs against Atlanta.
Yeah, this running game is pretty awesome right now with what they're doing. The one guy I'm going to sit in this game though for the Browns, I'm not really going to. I know he had a good game last week, huge game last week, but is going to be Amari Cooper. I'm not too keen on him. I have a feeling it's going to be a shadow situation with AJ Terrell. So I think he's going to take him right out. And I do think that Jacoby Brissett's going to have to go elsewhere to a guy, like you said, to a Kareem Hunt, to a David Njoku, because that's pretty much the only two pass catchers that they have outside of Amari Cooper.
All right.
So
I don't like it, but I'll let you say it.
You love Cooper now, hey?
I don't love him. They just got to throw to somebody there.
And I think he gets shut down. I do think he gets shut down. Now on the Atlanta side of the ball, I am going to not start Mariota. He's been okay, but he's from what I expected of him coming into the year, he's exceeded those expectations for me, I would think. Sounds terrible. He's won a game. Yeah, exactly. That's the biggest thing.
They're going to be 0-3.
Cordell Patterson is just a beast. Drake London, another guy that I'm firing up everywhere. And Kyle Pitts, I just hope PPR, you're firing him up. Well, anywhere you're starting him because that's where you drafted him. You drafted him to be a starter. So
get a touchdown, buddy.
I'm concerned about all these pass catchers. I'm concerned about everybody but Patterson in this one. So
they run their offense like a wildcat almost.
Yeah. So Patterson's a monster. Career high 150 plus scrimmage yards last week. Again, he's a monster. Is there any slowing down to this guy?
Came out of nowhere, this guy's been in the league for how long? And now
like 25
years, like ridiculous. This team found out how to use them, but they still don't win games. So I guess figure something else out.
I just traded for him in a league.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I got actually a good haul for him. The Titans at the Colts. Abby.
Hoorah!
Are you starting everybody on this Titans?
I am not starting everybody on this Titans end. I'm afraid of what's going on with Derrick Henry right now. Everybody dropped him as number one running back, and 3.56 average. He's just not showing the burst that he has in the past. It probably has a lot to do that their passing game is not as great as it used to be. So, and they got some big injuries on their offensive line too. In the wide receiver department, I mean, Robert Woods would be the only guy I would probably fire up in this in the receivers right now. Burks is he got a little bit ding up last game, and another guy I'd still like to see a little bit more out of before I start firing him up in fantasy.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Burks is a little bit. I'm not comfortable with that all right now because basically it's just not the volume's not there. I like the matchup because I do think that this Colts team you're going to be able to throw the ball throw on, but just his usage isn't quite there yet. And Robert Woods,
they just stopped the juggernaut KC offense.
Yeah. What? Yeah, but
air assault.
It's one of the I don't know, man. The Colts team is weird to me.
Yeah, up and down, big time.
Yeah, huge. So I personally do think that both these defenses are playable against each other because I don't think we're going to see any monster games out of anybody. But I do think both Derrick Henry and Jonathan Taylor are going to smash in this game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do. I think, I understand the concern with Derrick Henry, but he did have over 140 scrimmage yards last week. So I think they're starting to realize that they don't have the weapons that they used to have on this offense. And what was working before was Derrick Henry. So I think that's what they did last week, and they just went right back to it. I don't think that changes any. Just hopefully he can
repeat.
Not
repeat,
showing
but consistency so far.
Yeah, not yet. So hopefully that changes. But what about Austin Hooper? Where the hell is he at? He was this big free agent signing, and he was supposed to be the man. He's been brutal. It's Jeff Swaim's the one that had the touchdown catch last week, and he's the only one that tight end that I even know on this team. So
yeah.
I'm concerned with this offense in general. Robert Woods, I guess if you have to flex somebody, but I'm still not even comfortable in that.
No.
On the Colts side, firing up Taylor, I think another sneaky start for me is going to be Jelani Woods. Not sneaky start, but just guy to keep an eye on is going to be Jelani Woods again. He had 2 touchdowns last week. I want to see if his usage starts to come up. If his usage starts to come up, he's going to be a guy that you're going to hear about quite often on that waiver wire because he's going to be he's a basketball player. So I mean, he's a big-bodied receiver. Plays like a receiver, and I think for the red zone, I think that's exactly what Ryan needs, and that's what he did last week. So Pittman's a must start because volume is key, like I said before.
Ryan loves him.
Yeah, but I mean, you're starting Ryan if you have to start Ryan. But like I said, I think you're going to be both these defenses against these quarterbacks. I think you're going to see a few turnovers in this one.
Yes, they both like to throw it to the other team.
Exactly. So, all right. Next game we got up here is the Washington Commanders at the Cowboys. The 2-1 Cowboys.
Yes, the 2-1 Cowboys. Well, Commanders coming off their worst game of the season against a tough opponent, but I think this game is going to be relatively low scoring. I think we're going to see the Dallas try and control things on the ground again like they did last week. I think they're going to use their backs mostly. I think, unfortunately, because Antonio Gibson can't run the ball, we're going to see the Wentz offense run through their short passes like screens and stuff to Samuel, and maybe Gibson might get some catches, but they just can't seem to run the ball. So if they're going to move the ball, it's going to be in passing, which you could fire up Terry McLaurin, obviously, and I like Dotson in this one too.
I'm not huge on Dotson right now, just because the usage isn't there really anymore. We haven't seen much of him. does have 3 touchdowns on the year, but I think you're going to see a lot of those small short passes are going to go to JD McKissick. He's starting to they're starting to get him going in that passing game. I'm worried about Gibson, because I do think that once Robinson is ready to come back, I do think you're going to see Gibson fall big time.
Take a step back.
Yeah, that's what I do think.
Hire another guy to shoot his legs.
There you go. I do think that JD McKissick is a nice flex play in this one, because I do think that the Commanders are going to be down. I think Curtis Samuel, like you said, Curtis Samuel's a must start, and McLaurin are that, but I'm not touching Dotson.
But his touchdown cachet is pretty good right now.
I'm not going to rely on touchdowns to play, but you can. I hope actually I have Garrett Wilson and you have Dotson in league. Could we play them against each other?
Yeah.
Can we do that, Happy? Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
I'll have to look. But
what are your thoughts on Logan Thomas this week? He had a rough one last week.
Yeah, I don't know if he's banged up or what's going on with him, but he's had success in touchdown department against Dallas. So I'm hoping Wentz has been able to move the ball downfield. So I do think that if they do get downfield, then he's playing. Then I can see him getting in the end zone. Right. Dallas side of the ball, flexing Pollard and starting Zeke, I guess. I'm worried about Zeke, to be honest with you. That's one guy I'm worried about, but you're starting him because of the production. I mean, if they get inside that 20, he's going to get in the end zone on most weeks, right? He's not going to be one of these running backs that are going to get shut down every week, but I mean, I do think that the yardage isn't always going to be there, but I do think that he will get those touches, those important touches inside the red zone.
I think Pollard's slowly taking over this.
Oh, he was good last week. He was unbelievable last week. So as far as that goes, the one big start I'm going to have in this game, as long as he comes back healthy, is going to be Dalton Schultz. He did sit out last week, but they definitely the success that he's had against this Commanders team has been. What did I see? Well, he had 8 catches, over 80 plus yards in a reception, touchdown last time these two teams played. I do think that he's still going to fall into that. I think Cooper Rush is going to find him quite often in this one, and I'm going to see another productive day out of Schultz as long as he's playing. But you're going to have to keep an eye on.
He's been shit this year. I drafted him as my one tight end.
Can you drop him in a league so I can pick him up?
No. Oh no, I'm going to start him. Just because you told me to.
You should start him. I think he's as long as he's healthy, though. As long as he's healthy, that's the only reason. But he should be back. So, right. Who else? What else we got here? We got here's going to be a good game. Bills at the Ravens. You got the Bills. You got the Bills.
A lot of points, buddy. I mean, this is another game. I mean, every time Buffalo plays, you got to fire up almost everybody in their offense because they score a ton of points. Doesn't matter who they're playing. Allen Singletary he's been dynamite this year so far. It'd be nice to see some touchdowns. Touchdown from him this week. Obviously, you got to fire up Diggs. And what are Gabe Davis on your flex? What are your thoughts on McKenzie? In a game like this where they're going to score a lot of points.
I'm not confident starting all 3 of those guys. Like I'm obviously with Diggs. Now, if Davis on the other hand doesn't play, I love Isaiah McKenzie in this one. If Davis doesn't play.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
that's a definite startup if he doesn't play, I think.
Yeah, and as far as this running game goes for the Bills, I think it's going to be it's just going to be a passing game. I don't think there's going to be much of a run game on either side, except for what the quarterbacks do. So,
I still think you could fire up Singletary. I do.
I said last week not to. He burnt me on that, but I still think that you can. I'm going to look elsewhere if I can. Just saying, because it's going to be the same as for me. My sit this week for for Ravens is going to be Dobbins. Because I think this Buffalo defense is too strong, and he's not going to be able to do anything, produce anything on the ground, especially still not at 100%. But I do love Bateman in this one.
They're using Singletary in the passing game too. I mean, if they're just going to pass, he's got 13 grabs this season.
Well, you can start him.
Oh, I
mean,
will.
yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
don't worry, I will.
I mean, somebody's catching the ball out of the backfield because they just have to, right? I mean, they're just not going to be like lining up somebody in the backfield. But my personal opinion is I don't think that they're going to have much of a running game. But yeah, I mean, I could see why you would want to go to him. Like you said, if he's gotten, how many receptions does he have on the year?
13.
So that's a little bit more than actually what I thought he had. But so yeah, I guess they are like. As long as they use them that way. So yeah, I don't know. I got.
Wouldn't be a bad idea to keep Lamar off the field too, eh?
That's very true.
Keep Lamar off the field.
Oh, he's so good.
Oh, he's amazing.
Yeah. As far as this game, like I said, I'm not confident starting Dobbins this week. I'll tell people not to start him. And Bateman, I think he's going to be, he's had 50 plus reception yards in every game this year. I think that's going to continue with possible touchdown in there.
What about DuVernay?
Yeah, he had a touchdown last week. I guess if you want to flex him, you can, because numbers don't lie. He's obviously a good target for Lamar, but I mean, so yeah, if you have to flex him, I guess I have no issue with that.
All right.
So, are you confident in DuVernay?
Sort of, because they're going to have to score like 35 points if they want to win this game.
Yeah, it should be a pretty high scoring game.
Yeah.
So, okay, we're over now on to the Sunday afternoon games, Cardinals and Panthers.
Cards, Panthers.
Kyler Murray versus Baker Mayfield. What a beautiful.
Kyler needs to start running the ball. He's the fastest guy on their offense. He needs to start running the ball like he used to. He needs to play his game like Hurts and Lamar. That's how he's good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he just doesn't this year. I don't know what it is, but he's not using his legs, and it's costing them games. They're 1-2, so I mean, he's got to pick it up. I think Marquise Brown is an obvious startup. He's getting targeted 34 targets already this year. There's no way you could keep him on your bench. I think Dortch. I think I would fire up Dortch. I like what he's been bringing too, and with AG Green, it's still down. Is he still injured?
Yes, yes, yeah.
Yeah. And Hopkins out and Moore down, then it only leaves Marquise and Dortch right now as their viable receivers.
Yeah, with Dortch, I do think he's flex worthy for sure. I was starting him as the wide receiver 2 last week, but I think he's more of a flex play. Even with Marquise Brown, you're firing him up as the wide receiver. I think he's going to be a high end wide receiver 2. The secondary for the Panthers is good. Is very, very good. So it's just going to be a tough day. I think overall, I don't think you're going to see like monster numbers out of these receivers, but I'm not saying you're not going to be able to see, one maybe two passing touchdowns. And I think Marquise Brown, I'll call it Marquise Brown and Ertz are going to get those touchdowns.
Oh,
yeah.
No, not a Dortch fan.
I love Dortch. I love him, but I don't know. Last week I was very confident when I was talking about him, but I just think that I don't know. I'm still on the fence about it.
And you got to fire up Connor if he's playing.
Yeah,
you got to fire Connor.
Oh, he'll play. He costed me my dynasty win. I hate that dynasty rule we have, by the way, because I had him in IR. I ended up losing that game. To Bradley. I would have beat him. I would have beat him in all 3 matches I had with him this week. On the Panthers side of the ball, Christian McCaffrey is fell on the injury report again, but he's going to play in this one. Now, I am sitting my ketchup sit of the week, buddy. I did it again. Is going to be DJ Moore. I am not confident whatsoever in him. He hasn't been producing much of anything as of late. I mean, take a look at he hasn't had a decent game for where you drafted him. He's a bust in my opinion right now. Now Robbie Anderson on the other side, on the other, I think we're going to see a lot more kind of week one like results coming out of Baker Mayfield and Robbie Anderson. I do think that Baker could hit him for a deep one in this one, and because basically they're going to be taking DJ Moore out, they're going to leave Robbie Anderson single coverage. So
yeah,
I'm saying to go flex Anderson. I know a lot of people. You could probably find him on the waiver wire right now. I'm saying you could definitely go get him and flex him, and he won't be disappointed.
Yeah, Moore's been a disappointment. I agree. He's been targeted a ton. He's just not catching the damn ball.
Yep. Welcome to fantasy football.
Loser.
All right. Broncos Raiders.
Bronx.
I think I'm going to say it, Javi. I think they're going to let Russ cook in this one, buddy. I think they're going to let him cook. I think they're going to let him
They've been trying.
Oh, he's been brutal.
He's just a terrible cook.
Yeah, he has not been good.
He's they've had a lot of long drives and he just can't put it in the end zone for some reason. Like he's got 743 yards through the air, which is pretty good. But the 2 touchdowns, I mean, they gotta find a way to get the ball in the end zone. I think that Javonte Williams is a fire up, and in this one, I mean, even Melvin Gordon could be a sneaky. He could be a flex option because he's getting a lot of work too. In the receiving game, Sutton is probably your only option at this point with the injuries that they have right now. I'd say Sutton is the only fire up in the receiving game.
I hope so because I got some,
and that's why Gordon could get more work because they got some injury problems in the receiving game.
Yeah, I agree 100% with all that. Although I do think that Russ Wilson's going to be a top 10 quarterback this week. Planting my flag on it only for the simple fact is that this Raiders defense is banged up. They got some key injuries in their cornerback, so I do think that he's going to be able to do whatever he wants, and he's got something to prove right now, right? He's heard all the people and the analysts and everybody calling him a bust and all that stuff like that. So
they're still 2-1. You know who has something to prove? Josh McDaniels. He had to go to the office and sit in the office last week after the game.
Yeah, I did hear something. They didn't go. They usually go to Davis. Usually takes them to PF Chang's, is what I actually listened to this. But no, he wasn't good enough this week. He had to go sit in the office and have a talk with Davis. So that's crazy to me. But so, I mean, you're starting your main guys on this scene: Josh Jacobs, Devontae Adams. Sneaky one. If Hunter Renfrow does sit, I think I'm going to go back to Mac Hollins as a flex option.
Ooh.
8 catches last week.
Yeah.
Like 150 yards or something he had last week as well. Almost 160 yards. So, I mean, Hollins is that perfect slot guy for somebody like Derek Carr. If he does, like Devontae Adams is going to get taken out of the picture. So I think anyone, either Renfrow or Hollins, whoever's in there, whoever's playing is very flex worthy and startable.
Do it.
Yay or nay? Do you like Mac Hollins?
I do like Mac Hollins, but if Renfrow plays, I don't think I would start either of them.
You wouldn't start Renfrow?
No, I don't think so. I don't think that this game's going to be that high scoring. To tell you the truth.
Where would you predict score for me?
I would say 17-14.
So I got one score difference. So I got 23-20. Yeah, it's not going to be super high scoring, but okay, so let's go PPR.
I think it's
PPR,
going
you're
to be
firing.
controlled on the ground. What's that?
See, I don't know, man. PPR, I'm starting Renfro
Because you got to
every
fire.
day if
I
he's
think
playing.
Waller's a fire up, and Adams in the receiving game for Las Vegas in this game.
All right. Well, I personally think that if Renfro sits, I think you could put Hollins in as a flex option. If Renfro plays, you could put him in as a wide receiver 3.
Okay.
So there you go.
There
you go, son.
Take
all right,
that
brother.
one back.
Let's go with the Patriots at Packers. Yikes.
Yikes.
Yeah, this is going to be a rough one.
Hoyer, the Brian Hoyer show.
I do.
I
like him in. I like him in
I think,
DFS.
I think Jacoby Myers, if he's coming back, he is a fire up, and Devontae Parker, he could be a sneaky fire up too. He's been pretty good this year, and he's seen a lot of volume. So, but with Hoyer, come on, I don't know. I think they may try. I mean, if New England defense can hold Aaron Rodgers to what every other team has this year, because Rodgers is not cooked yet, then I think this might be a pretty low scoring game, actually. Surprisingly, everybody probably thinks Green Bay is just going to pound New England.
I don't think they're going to pound New England. I do think they're going to win easily. Like, they're definitely going to win by at least a touchdown. I do, the reason why I'm not starting any receivers in this game for New England, for the simple fact that Hoyer. Not even. The Packers defense, pass defense has been amazing. I think they're ranked like 6th or 7th in the league through 3 weeks. So now on the Packers side, I'm still gonna roll with I think Romeo Doubs is I have him as a top 20 wide receiver this week, because I do think he has that trust from Rodgers, and I think they're just going to keep feeding him the ball. And you can fire up both running backs, obviously. And I honestly
I think on the same team.
Yeah, I think Doubs is the only guy I'm starting in this receiving game. Even if, well, I guess Lazard was in last week, but I don't think Romeo Doubs is the answer. Doubs is the answer.
Rodgers likes Lazard in the red zone. He's gotten 2 touchdowns, but that's the only place he likes him. It seems 2 touchdowns, and in 2 games that he's played, but only 9 targets and 6 receptions for 58 yards. I mean, without those touchdowns, he's crap. But that trust that Lazard does have with Rodgers, I think that red zone trust is the only reason that you might start up Lazard. He started slow, but he is getting those touchdowns. And I think that he could get more volume, because, I mean, they need to let Rodgers cook a little bit, I think.
All right. Well, let's go with the Chiefs at the Tampa Bay Bucs.
The Bucs.
That's the next game we got rolling, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm telling you right now. Yeah, go ahead.
Devastating loss. Obviously, I mean, it was a tough loss last week. Still in this receiving core, the only guy I trust is Travis Kelce. I know Juju's being. I just don't like Juju. There's no way I'll start Juju on any of my teams. But Clyde, I'll start Clyde and Kelce in this offense. The rest, I still don't know who in this receiving core is startable.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you. I know he had almost 90 receiving yards last week, but I'm not sure which Schuster is going to show up tomorrow or on Sunday. So on the Bucs side, I'm benching Tom Brady. I want no part of him, even with Mike Evans back. I mean, I have Brady outside my top 20 this week for quarterbacks. I could find 19 other guys better than him. And Mike Evans, Yeah, you're going to fire him up because of where you drafted him. But I'm not confident with this whole offense in general. They're only averaging 17 points per game right now. So I mean, I understand the receivers are banged up and everything like that, but still, I mean, this isn't the Tom Brady that we're used to seeing. I want to see if he does come back, but unfortunately, I think I said this last week too. I don't think he is going to be that set it and forget it QB1 like he used to be.
Yeah, I mean, both of these offenses really haven't shown much this last couple weeks at least.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you're firing up Leonard Fournette and Mike Evans, and outside of that, nobody really else. I mean, I understand Gage was, had 12 catches last week, but big deal. To me, it's going to be a Mike Evans show as far as PPR points go. They will score. They're definitely going to score, but we're not going to see a huge 300-yard, 3-4 touchdown game from Brady. Maybe I could see maybe 250, maybe 2 touchdowns, but nothing spectacular. And I do think that
he's feeling old. He's finally feeling old.
Yeah, exactly. So. All right, well, then we got one more game to talk about, the Monday Nighter Cowboy, or what is it? I missed that.
No, it's Rams 49ers.
Oh, sorry, Rams 49ers. I didn't finish it. Sorry. I didn't finish our show notes, and you didn't even point it out. Rams Niners.
What?
Nothing. Just go.
Talk in the show notes.
Yeah,
in
the show notes. Okay, Rams
All right,
Niners.
well, Rams Niners. This backfield, I think Akers is a sit this week, and Henderson is going to get the bulk of the carries. I like him in this game. Obviously, in the receiving core, you got to start up Cup. Higbee's been good, better than the last few years, and I think that he is a tight end fire up too as your number 2 if you're in a 2 tight end league.
Yeah, Higbee's been very good.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, definitely way better than what he has been. He's got 50+ receiving yards in 4 of his last 5 games and 5+ catches, in 6 of his past 7. So he's being targeted. Stafford, on the other hand, I'm sitting Stafford in this one. I do not like. I understand you got Cooper Kupp there. Yeah, I'm sitting Stafford. I'm not.
Where you got him ranked?
This outside my. I think I have him as a QB2. Yeah. Well, yeah, he's about 20, 22, 21. Just actually right behind Brady. So
too many IDs for you.
I just don't think he's banged up. I mean 18 to 25 last week. Yeah. I think this 49ers defense is going to get on him big time. I think the Rams are underperforming, and I think the 49ers, I understand that the record they're 1-2, but this defense has been pretty solid. It's the offense that this 49ers are struggling with.
Yeah.
I mean, you're rolling with Debo. I like Ayuk this year. He seems to have a kind of little bit of a chemistry with Jimmy G. And Kittle, I'm not too sure what I'm doing with him yet. I guess you're starting him because where he started.
Kittle.
But he's just, hopefully he was just, knocking some rust off last week, and he's ready to come back and be good. So, but I do like Ayuk as a very would be like, I think he has a chance to jump into.
It's tough to sit Stafford. Like
I know, but he's just banged up. My problem is the fact that they're not. He's clearly hurt.
Yeah,
and they're not throwing the ball enough. They're basically letting these running backs pretty much carry the load. Like 25 attempts last week. That's it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. So I guess I want to see a little bit more. I mean, and what did they win last week? They won 20 to 12. So, I mean, the points are there. They're keeping it on the ground. So
they're doing what they need to win. I mean, if they're down, you'll see Stafford chucking more. But
are you dumping Allen Robinson? What are you doing with him?
Right now, unless I see a matchup, then I wouldn't start him. Not in this matchup, though.
Yeah.
Because I think that it'll be a low-scoring game where those games, Allen Robinson will be irrelevant because Kupp's going to get his 10 grabs.
10 grabs and, 18, 19 targets.
Yeah.
It's insane. But all right, buddy. Well, we covered them all. That was a good one.
Yes, sir.
Outside of that, once again, if you guys haven't already headed over to our YouTube channel, head over there, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you get alerted to anytime we have a show or drop anything on there. And until next week, peace.
Peace.